It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Which way the market's going? I don't know. I bought one stock. My father only bought two stocks in his life: Con Edison and AT&T. Steve Moore, what the heck is going on?
Hey, John, good to be with you. I think there's goosebumps right now among investors about what Kamala Harris is talking about doing if she was to win the election. You've got an election which is pretty much close to a toss-up. I mean, Trump has a slight lead in some of those toss-up states, but it's pretty close to being an even race, although I think Trump will prevail. But I think investors are looking at, doubling the capital gains tax, John. That's what Kamala Harris has talked about, taxing unrealized capital gains, raising the dividend tax, raising the personal income tax rate. It'll make America very uncompetitive. The return on investing, if you invest, say, $1 million in a new small business, you make a return on it, you'd be paying over 70% tax rate on those earnings. So people aren't going to do it. And I just think there's a fear. And also, remember, she's also in favor of all sorts of, green energy programs, Green New Deal. She's in favor of massive new spending. All of that stuff, I've called Kamala Harris the most anti-business candidate in my lifetime.
You know what I saw earlier today? This is interesting because she's getting incoming action from a lot of sides. This is Ro Khanna, congressman from California.
Yeah. Oh,
came
yeah,
out. Did you see? Yes, he blistered her on CNBC. Right. Yeah, he said that her plan with the capital gains and the unrealized gains, he said would actually kill innovation and entrepreneurs in this country. That's stunning from a diehard Democrat, Steve Moore.
Well, what's so interesting is, like, an hour after he said that, guess what Kamala Harris said? She said, I'm not in favor of raising the capital gains tax. I mean, here's the thing. What does this woman stand for? I mean, John, you've known, Donald Trump for a long, long time. I've known him for about 10 years now. I mean, this is a guy who says what he means and means what he says. You may disagree with what he says, but he tells you as it is. Kamala Harris seems to I mean, I fell off my chair laughing when she said she's now in favor of building the wall. I mean, really? This is a woman who said it was the most dangerous idea she'd ever heard. So I think Americans are just disgusted with what a non-genuine politician she is who doesn't have any firm convictions. She says she stands by her values. I don't know what those values are.
Yeah, and that's why it needs to come out in the debate. I mean, it needs to be like, here's what you said. It's clear as day. She's on camera on so many of these opportunities saying these things, and then suddenly she has an epiphany.
If she has changed her mind, and look, sometimes, I change my mind. Everybody changes their mind. Guess what?
I change my mind, but I don't change it on 20 things overnight. and on major things like that. I'm sorry. I don't buy that.
No, but my point is, even if, on a few of these issues said, look, I've changed my mind. Okay, explain why you've changed your mind. Why did you say what you said before? And I think, Trump has to say, look, if I were, helping him this way, I'd say, well, I feel like I'm debating two Kamala Harrises, one who said one thing, one that said the other. Because people want politicians who stick to their guns, who believe what they say what they mean. Trump does that. I don't know what Kamala, I think she will show up for the debate. I just don't know which Kamala Harris is going to show up for the debate.
So, in other words, you would vote that she is going to show up?
Oh, yeah. I think she will.
Let's see what happens. Judge Weinberg?
I have a bet with John. I say she shows up. I'm risking $1.
By the way, I did too. Okay. I did too. So we both may be rich.
$1 is my maximum bet.
Steve, I'll tell you what also troubles me. She has this whole proposal about taking over control of local land use and zoning by using federal money, superseding local and state regulation of land use and zoning. What that means is that they can destroy communities. So if a local community is hard pressed for dollars, take some federal money, and then you have to go along with the federal program.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that proposal, and I was shocked by it, frankly. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of zoning, but it should be local. The people in the community don't want a whorehouse next, down the street.
Imagine that.
What's that?
You can have zoning but there's too much zoning.
Wait, John wants to know what that is.
And I'm not against whorehouses.
I thought only in Las Vegas.
The oldest profession, after all.
Illegal there.
By the way, I did do a story at the Bunny Ranch, for the record, years ago. But anyway, go ahead.
But my point is, look, the people in the community should decide, what the town's going to look like, what's allowed, what's not, and not federal zoning permits. Because what they're going to do is they're going to make it harder and harder. The same people who say they want affordable housing are the people who zone housing out of they have all sorts of land restrictions in these cities. And it's caused, people to be homeless because they can't build enough of the apartments. So I think it's a terrible idea. Those, in my opinion, those should reflect community values. Don't you think, Rita?
Yes, which is different than the whorehouses. So I'm glad we cleared that up.
It's only in Las Vegas.
That's right, only in Las Vegas. That's right.
They're in New York?
Yeah, Reno too. Reno too.
One last thing.
City that has, I don't think you guys know this, Houston is a city that's famous for having very little zoning.
Is it Houston or Houston?
And it does fine.
Steve Moore, looks like electric cars are dying. It looks like it's either going to be gas cars or hybrids. I mean, why go in the middle of nowhere and have no place to get charged and have a battery that can blow up versus a hybrid? You either have gas or you have a electric car. And Volvo today, that was sworn they're going to make all electric cars by 2030. Volvo and then Volkswagen, all the V words.
Yeah.
I've started to
are there any car companies left that are just making EVs? I doubt it.
The one that's a subsidiary of, I forget who it was, General Motors?
Well, here's what's going on. You've summarized the situation pretty well. Americans, like their gas cars, but also there is a trend towards buying the hybrids. And you would think that the environmentalists would say, well, this is good. It's a step in the right direction. Hybrids have less emissions than do, all gas cars. But they don't. They're so absolutist that they're against hybrids, which is crazy because it moves in the right direction. But these are the same people who want net zero, close down every coal plant, close down every gas plant, close down no oil, no nuclear power. I think it's just an assault on energy. But I do think, I agree with you, John. I think the future is hybrids. My wife has one right now. She's charging it in our driveway. So she uses, Rita, the electric, hookup for when she drives around town. But if she has to go on a long distance, she uses gas. I mean, it's really, why do they oppose that, Rita?
Yeah. You know what? I can't imagine.
Thank you, Steve Moore. We got to go to a break.
Thank you, Steve.
Keep fighting, Steve. Keep fighting. We'll see you soon.